All right, this is my ultrasonic record cleaner. This is the ultrasonic cleaner itself, which I bought online. I think it was certainly less than $100. I forget exactly how much. Could have been 60 or 70. You know, you can clean jewelry in this and tools and many things, but and I know there's a lot of videos on how to clean records with an ultrasonic cleaner, but I figured I'd do one myself. Now this is the mechanism that my buddy Paul put on. We actually put the record on here, and this is the motor. So it really is a work of art, and I owe Paul a lot. Also need distilled water and Turgiclean. This stuff is expensive. Turgiclean is, this little thing was about $35. But I have to say, and you can see it's about half full. I've had this for 3 or 4 years now, and it's only half full. So it does last a while. I only put 15 drops in each gallon. And the only other thing I wanted to show is my rinsing technique. I use a handheld pump sprayer, and I have the luxury of a slop sink in the laundry room here. So after the records are cleaned, I do rinse them off. The manufacturer for Turgiclean says put anywhere between 10 and 20 drops of this into each gallon. So I go right in the middle and I do 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. I don't want to waste a drop of that stuff. You can see all the soapy bubbles rising to the top. Now, this is going to take more than a gallon. And I try to put the water level, if you can see center screen, there's a little lip on the inside where the bubbles are almost at now. I put the water level to about there. And then what I am going to do is, this is the heat on this side. I like to put it at 35. This is in Celsius. So I'm going to turn the heat on. Right now it's at 22. When I clean the records, I make sure that this is up to 35. But right now I am going to, you need to degas the water, get all the bubbles out. So for that, I'm going to run it for 30 minutes with nothing in it. That's the time, that's the amount of time I use to clean records. And for degassing, I'm also going to do it for the same amount of time, 30 minutes. So even though this is not at 35 degrees Celsius, I'm still going to run it now and get all the bubbles out. So I'll run this for 30 minutes. I'll come back, show you how I clean some records. All right, the water has been degassed. It's nice and clean, waiting for its first records. The temperature is now at 35, and that will fluctuate between 35 and 39, but that's okay. I think as long as it's warm, that'll help break up the dirt. Now I picked out two records here that I'm going to clean. Two Sinatra records. It's funny, the record that's in this Swinging Lovers is not even Sinatra, it's this, but it doesn't matter. I pulled it because this record is unbelievably dirty. I don't know how a record can get that dirty, but I figured it'd be good for demonstration purposes. That should get nice and clean from the ultrasonic. Now this record, and you can see the difference, just shows how dirty that one is. But this one also has a lot of little specks on it. And when I wipe it, they don't come off. I'm not sure what that is, and I'm not even sure that's going to get cleaned. That might not come off, but I figured it'd be good to try it. But like I said, this should get all sparkly clean. This I'm not too sure about. So let's give it a try. My buddy Paul, who made these spacers out of hockey pucks, drilled a hole in them. So I've got 5 total. So this is the dirty one, it's going to go on the spool. And I'm going to put a few spacers, because I do 2 at a time. I can do 4 at a time. I'm going to do 2 at a time. So I put 3 in the middle. And now the cleaner of the 2 records, but it's got all the speckles. It's going to go on the end. This is the other important component that I forgot to mention. The spindle on this end that you can't see right now is going to fit right in that slot. It's going to sit right there. So I lower the record down. Sits like that. And again, I clean them for 30 minutes. My buddy Paul, who built this, only cleans them for 10, and I think he does 4 at a time. I clean 2 at a time for 30 minutes. But I start the cleaner. This button is to start the rotation. You see all the suds from the Turgiclean? Look at that. I don't know how a record even gets that dirty. But anyway, this is going to be spick and span by the time this is done. Again, I'm going to run it for 30 minutes. One in the back, same thing. Hopefully those little specks will come off. That would be awesome. Not sure they will, but we'll see. All right, so I'm going to run this for 30 minutes and we'll be back. All right, 30 minutes is up. I can shut the motor off so it stops rotating. I lift the records up and let the excess water drip off. And now we're going to rinse these guys. So I just use this miter just because it's got a nice little slot in it that the record can sit in and it won't scratch the record because it's plastic. And I hold it and I use my pump sprayer. I just pumped it up. Go around a couple times. And really, again, it's just rinsing off the soap. Surgically. Shake off the excess water, and again, it's so great to have a slop sink here. Use a nice clean microfiber cloth. And that was the record. That's the Sinatra record that had all those little speckles, and I don't really see them anymore. It did a better job than I thought. A lot of scratches, but not bad. And even though that's a little, that looks like it's a little water stained, that's going to dry. That will not be a problem. Sometimes that does happen, but that'll dry up nicely. All right, let's try the other one. Go for number 2 here. Hockey pucks come off. That was the one that was filthy. It's got a lot of scratches. Certainly looks better though, but let's rinse this guy off also. And here's the one that was filthy. I'll pump up my pump sprayer again. And it does not matter that the label is getting wet. The label is melted into the wax, so it's not going to come off. It's not going to do any damage. I must have cleaned, I don't know, 600 or 700 albums by now, and it has never damaged the label. And this was that record that was absolutely filthy. Dry off the rinse water. This record's very, very scratched, and it doesn't have quite the shine that I thought it would after cleaning it in the ultrasonic, but it's still night and day compared to what it was before. There you have it. Definitely improvement. And real quick, I just want to show you the water after those just 2 albums. You can see a few specks. That is all microscopic dirt that just came off of those 2 albums. And by the time I clean about 50 albums, this water will be cloudy and murky, and at that point we'll change it. All right, this is what the water looks like after about 50 records, I would say. I probably cleaned about 50 records. It is very cloudy. It's very murky. I hope it comes out on the video because it really looks pretty nasty, and it's definitely time to change the water. So we've got a nice little valve here that I'm going to open up, and then I'm just going to drain it into a jug. Again, you can kind of see that the water is quite gray and cloudy. You see all the bubbles in the water from that Turgiclean. All right, the water is pretty much out. And then I use a little squirt bottle, again using distilled water only. I just spray the sides down. And then from here I just try to wipe it with the paper towel. And now it's ready for the next batch.